This episode is brought to you by Skillshare. Get 2 months of Skillshare free and learn new skills by using the link in the description. Every language has their own set of unique, naughty words that will get you sent to the principal's office or kicked out of your grandma's house. However, some of the words go beyond the realm of childish insults and dirty words and into the forbidden territory of obscenity. There are certain insults used in other languages that you simply can't come back from, and they can destroy even the strongest of friendships. Plug in your headphones and make sure there are no kids around before diving into today's episode of the Infographics Show: 10 friendship-ending insults in foreign languages. Before we get started, we need to mention that some of these insults may be, well, insulting. Mature content is ahead and some viewer discretion is advised. If you're sensitive to this type of material or easily offended, check out another awesome and educational episode of the Infographics Show instead. Our 10th most offensive relationship-destroying insult comes to us from Spanish. If you're starting a sentence with "me cago en," you better be getting ready to fight. The phrase essentially means that you're going to disrespect someone or something by defecating on it. The beauty of the Spanish language is that you can substitute pretty much anything after the foul-smelling insult, be it someone's mother or their meal. You can really get creative with this offensive phrase. For our 9th insult, we'll have to travel to Greece. The word malaka comes from the ancient Greek word mathakos, an insult in and of itself that refers to someone who has had an easy life and has become spoiled or rotten as a result. However, modern usage of the word has a meaning that's a little more off the wall. In Greece, a commonly believed wives' tale is that excessive masturbation has the ability to inhibit the brain's functioning. That's right, many Greek men and women believe that you literally can fry your brain like an egg on a pan by playing with your junk too often. Today, if you call your friend a malaka, you're saying that he's been waxing his carrot, so to speak, so often that he's lost all semblance of common sense. Don't tell mom. Our 8th friendship-ending insult is Lhave, a word that comes to us from the land of baguettes and fine art. The word literally means mop, but referring to a friend as a lave is much meaner than simply saying that his or her hair looks a little wild that day. Like a mop or a used dish rag, someone who is a lave is weak-willed, cowardly, and if they're male, sterile and girly. The word also has connections to social status, as traditionally in French society, members of the lower class would work cleaning with rags. Many other French insults also rely on the implication that someone is of a lower class than the speaker. For example, if you say someone has son le pied, you're saying that your friend smells like the inside of a urinal. You're implying that he is so low class that he cannot afford to properly wash himself. That's pretty harsh. At number 7 is kiss Amok, a phrase that comes to us from the Arabic language. Like their Western counterparts, Arabic speakers love to drag one another's mothers into their shouting matches. The phrase kiss Amok literally translates to your mother's arch, but refers to her private parts. Kiss Amok is typically used to cuss someone out, and is usually appended onto another sentence to make it more vulgar and call out the person it's directed at. It's considered to be one of the most offensive words in the Arabic language, so you better be prepared to put your dukes up if you're going to pull this one out. Our 6th most offensive insult is Modoc, a word that comes to us from Russian. The word Modoc literally means testicle, but these days is commonly used to describe someone whose behavior you find rude, crude, or downright despicable. A gendered word, you can only refer to a man as a Modoc. However, you can call his female counterpart a dura or fool. The word Modoc comes from the phrase for a castrated pig, and you'll likely hear some squealing from your friend if you refer to him as a Modoc. The 5th friendship-ending insult originates from German. The word Warmduscher translates to someone who takes a warm shower. However, this phrase does not refer to a guy or gal who just wants to clean off after a long day at work. In Germany, there has long been a myth that taking an icy cold shower in the morning is what puts hair on a man's chest and makes him masculine. Thus, when you call a man a Warmduscher, you are attacking his masculinity. Kind of like calling someone a little girl in English. Them's fighting words. At number 4 is Hia Brendu, a phrase that comes to us from the shivering cold island nation of Iceland. Hia Brendu is a loaded phrase that roughly translates to "I hope that when you go to the bathroom, your urine burns." If you've ever had a urinary tract infection, you already know that this is a pretty strong insult in itself, but the phrase is understood in Icelandic to go a bit further than that. Basically, the person directing the insult towards you says that they hope you suffer for a very long time. A very strong way of saying "screw you." Don't expect anyone to want to be your friend if you wish this unique form of long-lasting suffering upon them. Our third most offensive insult comes from Mandarin Chinese. If you want to insult someone and their mama in one swoop, you'd refer to them as Wang Badan, which roughly translates to sea turtle egg. In Chinese culture, a common form of profanity is to infer that a woman is promiscuous. Insults directed towards a woman's chastity commonly references turtles, as the head of a turtle peeking from its shell is to look like the male genitalia. A Wang Ba or sea turtle is a woman who has lost her virtue outside of marriage. So if you call your friend Wang Badan, you're saying that his mother lacks respect for herself and by extension, that he was an accident baby. Ouch! Our second most offensive insult in the world is wianbo, a word originating in Korea. During the Second World War, hundreds of thousands of Korean women were kidnapped by Japanese soldiers and forced to become wianbo, or comfort women. These women were routinely tortured and forced into sexual slavery. While not a commonly used insult in Korea, the term has significant historical meaning, and calling someone a wianbo is considered incredibly offensive. In 2014, North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un famously made headlines by referring to the South Korean President Park Geun-hye as the wianbo of America in an official press release, sparking a flurry of outrage. Not exactly a good look for an international leader. To learn about the number one most offensive and life-ruining insult in the world, we take a journey to the island nation of Japan to investigate one of the most offensive words in the world, Momko. If you're going to refer to someone as Momko in Japan, you'd better be prepared for everyone around you to hate you. Meaning forbidden territory, this is another insult aimed at attacking a woman's purity. The word comes from a simplified slang word meaning a woman's private region and basically implies that the woman in question has no respect for herself and will sleep with anyone who asks. The word Momko is considered to be so obscene and offensive in Japan that it can hardly be considered just a swear. In 2014, a Japanese artist named Megumi Igarashi was arrested for selling Momko art that featured small clay pins intended to look similar to a woman's crotch. Though she has since escaped legal trouble, she continues to create Momko artwork to this day, sharing it online via Twitter and other social media channels. No matter what your native language is, there are certain words that have the ability to enrage a person at their very core. In our ever more interconnected world, it's becoming more and more important to learn a second language. Luckily, Skillshare is here to make learning easy and convenient. With over 24,000 online classes, Skillshare can help you learn a second or even third language in no time, and all from the convenience of your personal computer. Skillshare is a perfect place to learn new skills or improve your existing ones. The first 1,000 people to sign up by visiting Skillshare.com/infographics35 or by clicking the link in the description will receive 2 months of Skillshare absolutely free. Join Skillshare and start learning today. So which words do you consider to be the most offensive from the list? Let us know in the comments. Also, to learn more about international no-nos, be sure to check out our other video titled Taboos Around the World. Thanks for watching, and as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.